Hey, everybody. Thanks for downloading this episode of the Black and Gold podcast brought to you each and every week by Boonshine Brewing Company. And Happy New Year! Back on our shelves, Electric Hellbender. And we know you've been waiting for this one. Come see us and grab a pour or a pack while it's here. Very cool can, the Electric Hellbender is. So go grab a 4-pack. You'll be happy. So here we are. We're recording in 2026. So we had our little, we recorded New Year's Eve last week, but now here we are actually in the new year. Pretty excited about it. I'm your host, Alex Johnson. With me, as always, here in the new year is Charles Haynes, Big C, Big C. We're going to put some words together, right? And talk for about an hour.
Put some words together, an hour or so. No promises.
No promises. You're going to get what you paid for. But here we are. We got a new year. The transfer portal is up. Wrestlers are wrestling. Basketballers are basketballing. And
those are some words right there. I'll tell you what.
Those are some words.
Those are some words.
And words are spoken and words will be spoken. How are we doing on time?
Yeah, right. We 1 minute. Not remaining. Minute. 1 minute we've talked.
There you go. No, but
yeah. So what's new with you? Is your family healthy?
Oh no. I tell you what, I'm actually really glad, and I know Charles, you know this, but I'm really glad for a new month and a new year, because the last 2 months of 2025, I was sick, had fevers, baby sick, everybody getting norovirus, flu. We got COVID. I thought COVID was done. It's not done. And so hopefully we can start off 26 in a healthy way, which would be good. We still don't have basketball though here, men's basketball. I know we just had women's basketball at home. The men don't even play until next week. We're on that kind of weird New Year's. We're on back-to-back week road trip for the men, so we don't even have a home game until next Thursday. That's okay. We got women's basketball to talk about, but hopefully we can stay healthy. And you know what's going to happen, Charles? Like, we're going to turn around twice. I mean, really, like, we're basically a month away, 4 weeks away from a baseball preview.
Yeah, we really are. It's it's January 7th. We all know what Valentine's Day brings on this show. So I mean, you're 5 weeks.
Yeah,
5 weeks till baseball, and it doesn't even feel like the winter has really started unless you live in the high country, and it started in December. But then it's like it's taking a break, really.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it gets cranking again.
It's false. It's a false winter.
Yeah.
I know we talked about the schedule. I know we talked about the baseball schedule, but okay. So actually, Valentine's Day is on a Saturday, and we're actually playing our second game.
Yeah, so it'll be before then.
It'll be before then. So we really are looking like, inside of 5 weeks for the baseball preview for Coach Smith. We'll still play the sexy Valentine's Day music. Don't worry, folks. There will be candles will be lit. Rose petals will be strewn across our respective studio. It'll be fine. It'll be fun. But anyway, we do have some sports to get to and some rants, I'm sure, about the portal. And we do have some things to irresponsibly talk about and project, I'm sure. But before we get into that, I want to thank our Olympic sports sponsors. And, of course, that is Styles Roofing. 704-842-1874 is the number you need in the year 2026 to get your roof repaired or replaced or whatever the case may be with your home. They're the best in the business. If you're in the greater Charlotte area, they work fast and they're good. They're not going to get paid until the job's done and you're satisfied. And trust me, they've worked with a lot of Mountaineer fans. So if you are in the greater Charlotte area, give them a call, 704-842-1874. And if one of your New Year's resolutions is to stop overpaying for insurance and to save a little money, then you need to call Zach Ligon or Matthew Johnson at Community One Insurance. They're also going to give you just better service than what you're currently getting at your insurance provider. And it doesn't really matter what kind of insurance. It could be home and auto. It could be business insurance, boat, scooter insurance. I don't know. Scooter insurance. I'm sure you can insure a scooter. I'm sure you can. Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing. But you can. Check out their website, communityoneInsurance.com, for those of you that live in North Carolina or South Carolina. And 828-455-2335 is the number you can call or text to see if they can save you some money, get some better service. And we thank them for sponsoring our Olympic sports segment. Let's get wrestling up here. We did cover the beatdown we gave Duke in the middle of December. Now, we did not place, I would say, we were 17th out of 28 teams in the Southern Scuffle on January 3rd and 4th. We did place third in the individual here. So we're really on the cusp of starting conference season here. We have a match against or duel against Presbyterian in Clinton, a SoCon matchup tomorrow, actually January 8th. But Charles, I don't know if you have anything to say about wrestling. We don't have this duel kicking off SoCon season until tomorrow. We'll have more to talk about next week. But anything about the Southern Scuffle that you have to say?
It's a huge tournament. Lots of teams from all over the country. Thomas Brooker was the third place individual. It just depends on who you run into really in these. You can get some bad brackets and face guys who are a lot better than what you're used to wrestling. And then of course, obviously, like it's been 2 weeks since we'd really wrestled someone else besides ourselves. So I think that has something to say about some things, but really, the season is really all about the SoCon. So, two big ones, it looks like it's not, I want to say that there's something on Thursday and Saturday because I'm used to looking at basketball schedules. There's not. We just got tomorrow, Thursday, January 8th at Presbyterian, and then we'll go another week before we wrestle VMI. So, hopefully we'll have a good showing tomorrow night down at Presbyterian.
Yep, let's hope. Fingers crossed. Speaking of Presbyterian, let's talk about Coach Alora Sharp and her Fighting Lady Mountaineers.
You could have gone any direction with that.
We could have gone one of two ways with that. So ladies basketball, started off where they looked pretty good. A solid out of conference record. We do stumble against Clemson. It's a tough matchup early in December. We have not looked good in SoCon play. We have not even kept
Sunbelt.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I went from SoCon wrestling to Sunbelt. Yeah, thank you for that. But yeah, so we really haven't kept it close. We played Marshall. We've already talked about Marshall and Georgia Southern from December, playing them. We do keep it within 5 points against Marshall this past Saturday. But 4-game conference losing streak. We beat Carolina University, which threw everybody for a loop when the men played them first game of the year. We did play them right around New Year's. But as far as just this 4-game losing streak in the conference, offensively we're not putting the orange ball in the orange hoop, and that's something that's got to get fixed if we're gonna try to turn things around in conference play, Charles.
Yeah, it's just been kind of a slog. This Marshall game, on Saturday was played a lot differently than the one before, where it was a little bit more high scoring. But this was not a wild game. It really came down to Marshall just scoring. They went on a little bit of a streak at the beginning of the third period, and this game was really, really, really tight, and we just couldn't really dig back from that. 53-48. We did a really good job of executing our game plan. You could tell that we kept Marshall from running up and down the court. We kept them out of their presses. We turned the ball over, turned them over a lot in the first quarter. Most of their buckets were on offensive putbacks, and just kept them out of their rhythm. And so, mind you, this is a good Marshall team. They're 13-3. They still play that pressing kind of style. And we just made it hard for a bunch of their good players. But two of them did have pretty good games, and they play a lot of players too. That's another thing. They had one starter play 31 minutes. Nobody else played more than 30. And that starter didn't score any points. They still had 3 ladies scored double figures after he only scored 53 points. But it really just came down to that third quarter, and we fell behind a little bit. But we were up 16-7 after the first, and then we had a 5-point second quarter. And I know we've
Yeah.
talked about this a lot. It just doesn't make any sense how this happens. And I sat there and watched it unfold in front of my eyes. But well played game, really. I mean, it was a good game. If you like those tight, intense, and every possession matters, and each turnover is a big deal, and each shot made is like a run in itself. But we just didn't have enough to come back in the fourth quarter. We shaved 2 points off of the 7-point third quarter lead. It just wasn't enough. But I mean, we did a really good job of doing something different than we did the first time around, and that's how you got to beat them. We were close to doing it. But we just didn't score a lot, and that's just really what it came down to. Addie Beal came off the bench, and she scored 12 points. That was our only double-figure scorer. That's how tough this game was. We only hit 2 threes the entire game. But, we did, out of 20 field goals, we did have 15 assists, 16 turnovers. And that's really what it came down to. I mean, you shoot like 15% in the second quarter and less than 30% in the third quarter. You're going to have some games where it's going to be tough to win those, and we still gave ourselves a chance. So even in the tough, kind of dirty game that it was, we still were kind of right there and had a chance to make some stops, and we just didn't do it.
Yeah, and then tonight, I mean, if you look at these box scores, it is kind of interesting because the ladies now they play 4 quarters, not 2 halves. And like you look at tonight against Coastal, if you look at the fourth quarter, the third quarter, the second quarter, it is like neck and neck, back and forth.
Yep.
But then you like the first quarter. So it's first quarter is 23-5. Coastal is right out of the gate, beating us by 18 points. And literally the entire rest of the game is basically even after that. But you you dug yourself into a hole so deep that you can go on a little run and make, cut it to like 17 points, it's not sustainable and you can't overcome it. So these droughts and these quarters are killer.
It feels like each time that like we cut it, I think a couple of times we cut it to 14 in the second half tonight. And each time that happened, it was like Coastal would hit a 3.
Yeah.
Or they would get like an and 1, on the other end. And if you're going to have just a bad game, then you can say pretty much everyone did. No one, I mean, you can look and see some double-figure scores, but I mean, this was, we shot 18 of 60 for the game, 30%. It's just not there. We had a few threes in the fourth to kind of give us a point total, but we just weren't in the same gym as Coastal Carolina tonight. As much as I hate to say it, we just weren't, and it was evident from the tip. They ran out 10-2 on us and then just really coasted. It was I think it's a wire-to-wire win. I don't think we scored the first bucket, but the closest it was all game was when it tip off, and it was tied at 2, and then it was 5-2, and then it was over. But it was just Coastal has a different build of athlete than we do. They have a bunch of girls who can run and they can dribble, so a lot of guards, so to speak. And we're more of a post team, and they made it difficult for our posts to catch the ball, to pass the ball interiorly, and it just was a struggle. We just really couldn't get our hands on it much all night long. I think that's really the best way to look at it. I mean, it was only 15 turnovers, but it felt like 25.
Yeah.
It just really did. And a tough night for a bunch of the ladies. But everyone was turning the ball over. It wasn't just one person. It was just everybody was out of sync.
Yeah.
And it was just it was a tough watch. But if you're gonna stink it up, might as well stink it all the way up. Is the best way I could put it. And it sounds harsh, and it's
very elegant.
Yeah, very. But I hope they can turn it around because it's been an offensive struggle at least for the past month, it seems. And when you haven't had a Division I win since Gardner Webb, which was on like December 1st,
Yeah.
starting to wear on them. You can see there's some
Yeah.
frustrations out there.
Yeah.
And it's tough, and you feel for them too. That's the hardest part. You just want them to
Yeah.
win. You want them to see some success, and they're struggling right now. So
Yeah.
they play Southern Miss on Saturday at 1. And I think that's the hardest part is the home games they've had. But then we get to hit the road for 4 straight after that.
It's brutal.
Some East opponents, and then a couple West opponents where we come back at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's brutal. I mean, really, you're set up to like not really play in front of a full house for like a month and a half. That's really how it's set up.
We haven't played a game since school's in session since the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
and now it's Education Day at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, it is so tough. That's why we acknowledge the schedules that work out for us in our favor when we have them, and it's not all the time. Like this year for Appalachian, thankfully we're going on a back-to-back road trip while school's not in session. So we're on the road around New Year's and then this week, but students aren't even in Boone, so they're not. We're not having to play at home. That's not always. It doesn't always work out that way. So
right. It seems like you either get it. You get those home games when school's not in session. It's either the men or the women, and this year it's the women were at home and the men were on the road, and except for that those random 2 games that was before Christmas. It's just not enough. It's just not enough weekends really if you're going to play 18 games. Yeah. And really, it comes down to why are we playing the MAC Challenge like in the middle of February and getting out of conference play? I think the MAC Challenge is okay, but there's no need to play that after January. Focus on conference. And another thing I think about is like we've talked about, I think, with the men is these schedules being unbalanced. We played 5. Like for instance, the women played 5 conference games and they're already done with Marshall. In 5 games. That's after Southern Miss, but they played 4 games, right?
Yeah.
And Marshall is done. Like they play them within 2.5 weeks of each other, and that's it. And play to one other school. I've never understood that. Like spread that out a little bit, especially when you have teams in the same division, because not a lot's going to change in 2 weeks, but a lot could change in like 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yep.
That's my 2 cents. Soapbox.
No, I agree. I know that's it. Yeah, that playing Marshall, getting Marshall like knocked out at the before MLK Day, first day of class. It's kind of weird. That's a weird thing. Let's talk about men's hoops. Man, this is like the tale of 2 completely different road sites. Because we crush in Norfolk. Like
did we talk the ODU game? I can't remember if we did.
No, I don't think we did. When did we play this game?
At 2:00.
Oh, we did
on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, we did. No, yeah, you're right. We did.
But we can for context though.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Pardon me. Sorry. But it just seems like we, I guess we're repeating what we said last week, but we play really, really well in the Chartway Arena. I mean, I think Terrence Harkham scored like 50 points there one year.
Yeah.
Play really, really well there. And we do not play well at Marshall. We just don't.
No,
it's a tough place to play, and we don't have our mojo when we're there. Now, to credit the men, did not look good after the first half, 44-32. You're down 12. Man, it's tough. Now, we did make it really competitive. We chopped it all the way down. Did we get to 2? Or I know we got to at least 3 points. We got it down to.
I thought so.
Just couldn't close the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't close the door. And, if you look at the box scores, we are a top heavy team in terms of our lineups. We're playing guys, in close games, in the, mid 30s in terms of playing time. I guess ODU though, we spread it out. We had 8 players play double digit minutes. Marshall was a little different. We had guys playing longer, and we scored 81 points. That's a lot of points to be scored. But free throws crushed us. Luke Wilson. It feels a little bit like Hack-a-Shaq with him. I think he's got a good looking free throw shot. And there's some games where he will shoot for a high percentage. This wasn't one of those games. 9 of 17 from the line. He's a really good player. I mean, Luke's a good player. He scored 20 points, but just could not overcome that first half deficit in Marshall. We just do not play well there. And Marshall's a good team. They're 10-5. They're playing well, but that's a tough road game, Charles.
It felt like Marshall was just throwing everything in the ocean, and it was going in and counting.
Yeah.
Like when they needed a big shot, like they got it from their guys.
Yeah.
And it's not a Kearns team to give up 88. That's not usually what we do, but they hit 12 threes in the game, and we're 18 to 25 from the line. And we had the same opportunities at the free throw line, and that's what's really disturbing is that we were 17 to 31, and that's just not going to get it done. You're just leaving. It's one thing if you shoot like. Let's take 10 off of this. Let's say you go, you have 21 attempts and you hit like 10 or 11. Like, well, there's 11 opportunities, but you're not going to hit all those. But like 14 opportunities, if you can hit 3 or 4 at the right time, like you're going to have that's going to make a difference in a game. You're not asking to shoot 85% from the free throw line, but if we were to shoot like a little bit more than 65%, like that's going to give you a chance.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's the crazy thing to me about that is that Luke was 9 of 17. I'm not going to pick on Luke here, but I think he has a really good stroke.
Yeah, I do too.
Like when it goes in, it looks really good.
Yeah.
And I think what we saw against Marshall was there was a lot he left short, front rimming them. And what did talk to Coach last night, Mountaineer Talk, and he said they're on the way that the ODU game was on a Wednesday on New Year's Eve and not on a Thursday. So if they're on a Thursday, they go straight to the next school. Well, it went back to Boone, right? Because, you don't want to spend another night in a hotel just to spend another night in a hotel.
Yeah.
And so Norfolk and back, then Marshall and back is 2,300 miles. Like that's insane.
That's a
I mean, I know it's not 2,300 miles, but that's what he said. But he's like, I've been in the bus a long time.
Yeah, it's brutal. That's not an easy way to travel with a bunch of dudes.
It is brutal, and those are two of the schools that are closest to us. Outside of Georgia State and Conway and James Madison, but still. That's kind of tight. But Norfolk is like at the coast, and Marshall is a baseball throw from Ohio.
Literally across,
literally across the river. So it's a tough road trip, but that's not making excuses. But we played, like you said, we're top heavy. 6 guys got the majority of the minutes, and not every night you're going to have like a Jalen Todd going out there and a bunch of threes, although he did hit a few against Marshall. But this was just it was less of what we didn't do besides getting in a hole, and we made the comeback and just didn't get the right bucket at the right time late in the game. But more of what they did, it just felt like they were unconscious. Even with 3 dudes on Marshall fouling out, and one of their players getting hurt. One of their starters, a big center that probably changed the way they played.
Yeah.
You got a 7'4" guy. And all of a sudden he's not going to play. Well, all of a sudden your lineup that was dependent upon the post and all your tape that you worked on goes out the door, and now you got to defend a team that is going to be perimeter based, and that's a tough adjustment to make on the fly.
Yeah.
And but they played a great game though. I mean, Marshall did play well. I mean, they only had 8 turnovers. That's how you get to 88 points in a game.
Yeah. Yeah, and their shooting percentages were they're not. I mean, you can't sustain that for a season. I mean, they shot 50% from 3. They just did. They played really, really well. So not much you can do about that. I did do the math real quick though on Google Maps. Google Maps is great. I spent a lot of time on Google Maps. from the round trip from Boone, Norfolk, and everything back to Boone, 1,200 miles. It's a lot of miles.
Feels like 2,300, I'm sure.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, it's 21 hours.
Maybe that's what he was talking about. 23 hours.
Yeah, it's basically a day. You're spending a day in the bus.
Yeah.
And Sunbelt schools have to deal with that. I mean, Appalachian State's not the only one, having to deal with it, but it's hard. It's a hard life. That's why home games are so important to win. That's why that Georgia State game, us losing that, was like a huge bummer. Like,
yeah.
You got to take advantage of your home stands.
And that's why we got to get it back tomorrow night.
That's right.
Have to get that back. And then and like we were talking on the women, like we started our first our first series of the year is Coastal Georgia State. We squeeze in, north of the border, and we're playing conference games 5 and 6 against Georgia State and Coastal, and we're done with them.
Yeah.
And no matter what happens, like if you end up running into one of these teams in the tournament, you're going to think, well, what happened back in early January?
Yeah.
And that Georgia State game was tough because they were terrible then, but they've actually won some games since then. So either they were really terrible or they were playing good teams and just didn't get everything together, or like the Sun Belt is just like so mid and like anyone can beat anyone on any given night that there's a chance that that they're not as bad as they really were.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty likely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see real quick who they have beaten since, because they've moved up to 5-11. I know they played Marshall, and they lost by 4 in Huntington. So there you go. And then they beat Coastal by 18, and that was since they played us. And that's all they played since then. They played a Columbia College of South Carolina.
By the way, I've already looked this up. I want you to guess. Don't look anything up. I want you to guess what their mascot is.
The Columbia College.
Yeah. Don't click on anything. Just tell me what you think.
Is it a panther?
No, I know what you're saying, that because it's on the website. It's the Georgia State logo.
I know. I was just wondering if it might be a panther.
Yeah, it's not. That's why I clicked on it. I was like, are they like ripping off Georgia State's logo? But guess what they're.
Well,
do you see it?
Yeah, I do now.
The koalas.
The Columbia koalas.
That's pretty awesome, actually. That's unique. I mean, it's not another tiger, right? Or another eagle.
Speaking of down under, yeah, or yes. North of the border.
That's right. But yeah, so basically, we gotta button down on both sides of the court, right? Ladies got to score more, and the men gotta. I think we have some offensive issues too, especially at the free throw line. But I think our defense will fix itself. But Jalen Tots had a good little run here. But I feel like it's kind of like Dior Connors last year. Like Dior went when he was valuable, when he was doing well, it was because he shot from three. Like he had a couple of good games from three. But like what else was he doing? If he didn't shoot well from three, then like there was really nothing else. So it'll be interesting to see how
I think Jalen Tots a purer shooter than Dior Connors, though.
Yeah, I think he's better than Dior.
Yeah, just from the shooting standpoint. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be something else crazy. I mean, we're going to take care of these other two schools, and after that, we got JMU and who else? JMU, and then we finished it with Old Dominion because that makes sense.
Yeah,
the following weekend, and those are our first home games of the new year on the 15th and the 17th.
There you go. Do we have anything else to say about basketball?
I don't think so. Aaron Banks got hurt in the Marshall game.
I did see that.
Got dinged up pretty good. Fingers crossed he can get him cleared.
Was it like a concussion?
Yeah, I unofficially I don't know that, but it looked like it.
Yeah. That's brutal, man. You got to take that stuff seriously. You know?
Really do.
So,
really do.
We're saying it because we have to. He needs to get on the court again. I don't care if he's throwing up. He needs to get out there. I'm just kidding. Just joking. So we don't have a satchel. Hopefully we have a guest next week. this is we're officially 1 week removed from the New Year holiday, so we're gonna get back into the swing of things here. I'd like to get some guests lined up, so hopefully they'll start next week. So no special guest, no Satchel, but do want to give a shout out to Blue Deer Cookies, downtown Boone, downtown Blowing Rock, and in West Jefferson. Best coffee in Boone. Get a hot drink. Of course, now it's basically summer now, so you got to get a cold drink. Get some cookies, get some ice cream. Go check them out. Great place to hang out. Get a sweet treat, and also our special guest sponsor, Mountaineer Mania. Best place to get gear in Boone, 497 West King Street, a Boone staple. Check out their gear. They have cold weather gear, tailgate gear, hats, headgear, whatever you need. That is a great place to stop. That's where we try to stop every time we come up to the high country. Just like go in there and check things out. Although we've been in there so many times, always end up buying something. But they got great tumblers for a great value. I know I've said that before. They have great tumblers, great cups. If you need another cup, everybody needs another good cup. I like to know the collective number of App State tumblers that our collective listeners have. It has to be like 10,000, like Appalachian tumblers between our listeners, or maybe more.
Oh,
If you
certainly.
count my house.
Yeah.
Count my house. That's probably a low number. And also, so speaking of this, I want to give a quick shout out to a new restaurant that is affiliated with Blue Deer in Austin Northern, and it's Bubba's. Was it Bubba's Grill? Is that where is that the name? It's not open.
Gas and Grill.
Bubba's Gas and Grill. I'm sorry. Bubba's Gas and Grill, and people are going to know. And we're just giving a shout out because it's cool. And, obviously friends with, same kind of deal, family with Blue Deer. But everybody, unless you're just always coming from 421 and never drive on 321, you're going to know exactly where this is. If you're heading to Boone from Blowing Rock on 321 North, and you're on that stoplight where you can go left to head downtown Blowing Rock, and you got that, what was an Exxon service station right there on the corner, across, kind of catty-cornered. That is Bubba's Gas and Grill. You can go fill up your tank, get a smash burger. I think they're starting off with lunch. Was it 10:30 to 2:30?
10:30 to 3:30.
3:30, yeah, to start off with. So so best of luck to Bubba's Gas and Grill.
Lots of neat memorabilia in there. Lots of App State stuff. A lot of NASCAR stuff.
Okay. Hold on. Time out. So you ultimately are you're the Dale Earnhardt guy. That's your guy forever. That's your number one.
As a Dale Earnhart fan, yeah.
So he's not your number one.
Not my number one. I would not say it's like
okay.
So when I was growing up, my dad didn't really have my dad watched, but I don't think he had a driver. And if he did, I'm terrible because that would be awful to know that I don't know who my dad's favorite NASCAR driver is. But my neighbor, when we grew up in our first home we lived in before we went to kindergarten and we moved when I went to school, he was a Bill Elliott fan. And so he had this
McDonald's.
Yeah, but that was, we're talking 1985. So this is long before McDonald's in the 90s.
He didn't have McDonald's money back then.
Yeah. This is, Coors Light 9, right? And it's brilliant.
And
my neighbor wore that black trucker hat all the time. I was like, I'm going to be
hilarious.
a Bill Elliott fan. And then, when I came to school, met one of my good buddies, and he's from Georgia. He's a Bill Elliott fan. I was like, hey man, awesome Bill from Dawsonville. So now I'm a Chase Elliott fan, and I know I'll get some grief from those who are really Big C's a Chase Elliott fan because all the little girls love Chase Elliott because he's cute and all this good stuff. But yeah, that's how NASCAR fans are. You're not going to find someone who liked Dale Earnhardt but didn't like Junior. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen. That's how it goes. That's the family thing. So
it's really interesting. Because you wouldn't think if you think a stereotypical NASCAR fan, someone that's just, hey man, meat and potatoes, just here to see the wrecks and the speed and the horsepower. But I know I have a lot of my friends that are big NASCAR fans. You're a huge NASCAR fan. Some of my best friends are, and the investment that they get into like the personalities of the individuals, like it's very. I don't mean this disparagingly. It's very
No.
much like soap opera pro wrestling ish.
Oh, it is.
It's like, oh, he's such a baby. Oh, he's such a
Man.
little blah 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 blah.
You never want to catch me on the right moment on a Sunday afternoon or Saturday night when something didn't work right, or or somebody got in the wall and it's going to cause top 10 car to finish 28th, and it's somebody's fault. I'm going to not be happy about someone.
Dude, it's so funny because like I have a friend that I'm gonna get it wrong. I know there's Kurt and Kyle Busch. They're brothers, right? They're brothers.
Yes.
But Kyle Busch is the one. He still races.
He still drives a car. He's not doing a lot of racing nowadays. Sorry, that's a bad joke. He's
I don't know.
Not winning a lot. He's not winning a lot.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. But like he is like kind of what you just did. You were like, I know I'm gonna get a lot of grief for being a Chase Elliott fan. He kind of has like a disclosure, like I know, but I like Kyle Busch or Kurt, but I can't remember which one. I think it's Kyle Busch. He's like, I like Kyle Busch, and it's like he's like admitting it and ashamed of it. It's kind of like you're like, for the people that are listening to this that know pro wrestling, I grew up, I love Shawn Michaels as the pro wrestler, but he was like his whole persona was he was a sexy boy. That was his that was his entrance music. I like the way he wrestled. I thought he was great. Like he was great to watch, but he was kind of a pretty boy, kind of like, and all the girls loved him. It's kind of what you talk about Chase Elliott. And so like, it's just very interesting to hear my NASCAR friends talk about, like, did you like Jeff Gordon?
Did I like Jeff Gordon?
Yeah.
No, I do not like Jeff
See, there you go. I do people that love Jeff Gordon, and they're like, I like Jeff Gordon. And then some people are like, oh, I hate Jeff Gordon,
But,
they have their...
but I could also sit here and say that Jeff Gordon was great for the sport. Like, fantastic. But he just wasn't my guy.
Why didn't you like him?
Why do you think I didn't like him?
I don't know anything about Jeff Gordon. So you're going to have to tell me why you didn't like Jeff Gordon.
California.
Okay.
Squeaky voice.
I thought he was from Indiana. Oh, he's from California? Okay.
Indiana, whatever. Not from North Carolina. I think he's from California. Or is he not? Tony Stewart's from Indiana.
Okay, maybe I got that wrong. Okay, he's from California. Sure.
You gotta be second guessing over here. Now I gotta look it up.
Yeah, let's look it up.
No, you look it up.
This is the Jeff Gordon edition of the podcast. I'm gonna look it up. Jeff Gordon is from, he's from California.
God, yeah, we always have you.
I'm sorry.
Like, you can have a Jeff Gordon from California, and you can have like Kevin Harvick from California, and those are two different guys.
What's different?
Well, one is kind of a tougher guy than the other, and the other, it's just that when Jeff Gordon came in, it was very, he was an un-NASCAR like gentleman.
Who's the guy from? Who'd you say the other driver was from California? What's his name?
Kevin Harvick.
Okay, all right, I've heard that.
Yeah, and he was the one who drove RCR's entry after Dale died at Daytona. But he as the Jeff Foxworthy joke goes, the people that from NASCAR who didn't like Jeff Gordon is because he enunciated. And that pretty much covers it.
We can understand what he's saying.
He's got a rainbow car and he enunciates.
So I just looked this up. Jeff Gordon is from like Northern California.
Right.
Where all the meth labs and all the, the frontiersmen are. Kevin Harvick's from Southern California. He's from Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't understand. I appreciate it, but...
Well, you can be from Kannapolis or you can be from Mooresville. They're not the same place. They're similar, but they're not the same place.
It's a huge difference between Northern California and Southern California, though.
A little bit. So. But anyway, we
need to get Mark Spear on here. I feel I'm outmatched. We need to get Mark Spear on here. I was gonna ask you something. Did you see the Dale Earnhardt document. I know I've texted you about it. Did you watch the Dale Earnhardt documentary on Amazon?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you like it?
Oh yeah,
I loved it. I
yeah.
thought it was great. Like he really was like. There's nobody else like Dale Earnhardt. Like that dude was obsessed with his craft, and it was kind of interesting to watch like him because he raced like they're obviously he's from Kannapolis. Like his dad and Dale, they raced at Hickory Motor Speedway. Like
Yeah.
that's the birthplace of the NASCAR stars, I think is what the tagline is. That was awesome watching that documentary. I recommend that to anybody who just likes good documentaries.
It was a really good one.
Yeah.
And
like
his rivalries with Daryl and all those folks, and it's just a lot of good stuff. I've watched all of that, right? All those, anyone's ever done, and some are more accurate than others, but that was right up there. I mean,
yeah,
it's right up there.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. You really painted a picture of like how somebody becomes kind of like a dysfunctional, kind of like distant parent by how they grew up, how they were affected. He was a lot more of a complex, kind of a tragic figure. And it's crazy that he died so young. I remember Dale Earnhardt dying. But like he did die. I mean, he was at the back half of his career, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, he was a young guy, as junior was coming up, and it was crazy. It was wild watching. And to see who's Darrell Waltrip's brother, Michael Waltrip, like he won that race.
Yeah.
And his friend Dale was dead. He didn't know it. And that was just nuts. But anyway, come back next week where we talk more about the 2005 Daytona 500. Let's talk a little bit about football here. If you don't mind, the portal has opened. And there's a lot of people out. I'm just looking here.
There's a lot of fishers of men out there is what's going on. I think that the interesting part for me, AJ, is there's the portal intentions. Like you announced before January 2nd, you announced like December 13th, you're like, I'm not coming back to the school. And then there's these people, you're like, all right, so if these people haven't announced, then maybe we're okay with some guys, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the ones who enter after it opens. And you're like, oh, that usually means something, right? It usually means they're getting that DM, right? And so you start losing a player or two you weren't expecting to, and that kind of stings.
Yeah.
But then also they're starting to come in. They're jumping on board. So
yeah,
I think there's just several chapters to how this unravels. I'm not sure if that's where you're going with it, but
yeah, no,
it's we've seen players go to different places, right? Rutgers, Colorado, Mississippi State.
Yeah.
And then players.
That's been crazy to see. I don't pull against anybody. Like, I don't want anybody to, like, once you've said, hey, I'm out. All right, man, you're a kid.
Thank you.
Go stay healthy. Don't get hurt. All that. I don't wish anybody ill. But it was very interesting to see AJ Swan get picked up by Mississippi State. I'm guessing I can't imagine, like, for a starting spot. I guess that's just a backup role, I suppose. But that was interesting. Did not anticipate that. Did you?
Yeah. I think he probably a guy that needs a clean pocket.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're probably not going to get clean pockets in FCS. Because now all the good talent is really being brought to the top, right? Even from depth positions. So, I wasn't surprised. He just seems like someone who needed to be in the spotlight a little bit. And I think sometimes you see these guys who dip down just to go back up. And who knows? He could very well compete I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him start a few games next year for Mississippi State for all we know. And
Yeah.
that'll be crazy. I mean, was it crazy when Joey Aguilar went to UCLA and then to Tennessee? Like, did that surprise you? It surprised you to see him play well? But to an extent, like, it was like, wow, that's kind of crazy, you know?
It's still so new. It's like, man, we just like Joey's on the show like 3 times. You know, like we got to know Joey, and it's like he's in the spotlight for all this craziness. Like, you know, went to UCLA and then Nico, and now he's playing, you know, CBS against Alabama. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, that's kind of crazy. I do think AJ, to his credit, he would have definitely benefited from a better offensive line. I mean, that's just kind of like every quarterback would benefit from a better. I mean, every football team would benefit from a better offensive line.
I do think
it's a blanket statement. That's right. I think he probably had more quarterback talent than he was able to show. And I think our favorite thing about him, I think we're both on the same page, he was tough. He took shots.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure he played through a lot of pain. I'm very sure of that. So, I mean, I want him to do well. I mean, God bless him. There are some, like, I just pulled up the list here of guys that have announced. And if I were to guess, there are some names here that we didn't want to go, and they're gone. I think Emory Floyd, you know, obviously he came over from South Carolina. I think that's probably something we would have ideally liked to have kept. He announced very recently he's in the portal, which I agree with you. So I think there's some kids that, because people are different, that know they want to leave, but they're also like not going to air their stuff out. They're going to wait. But I think there's some kids that wait because they just don't know, and then they spring from people, and then, okay, now I was going to stay, but now I'm not. And then there's some people like you just mentioned. As soon as the final game, I'm gone. Bye. See ya. So all different types. DeFreitas, I think, is somebody we probably did not want to go. Kamani Alexander going to Charlotte. I didn't think he looked bad, but I think that's probably just, I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, that's just a depth chart kind of running back room issue there, right? I mean, that's what I together.
You know, there may be an assistant coach down there who coached running backs at Charlotte who may have been coaching in Boone as well.
He was a true freshman though, right? Or did he I guess, was he part of, recruiting him? I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, he had to be. I'll say what I was surprised there was that, you know, he's a Florida kid. So, you know, that's what triggers that. I mean, you're like, hey, it's someone who didn't get a lot of time. Maybe they go back towards home or something like that. Maybe FIU, something like that. But no, it was pretty clear what's going on there.
Yeah. I'm looking at this, and Kamani was recruited by Brian Haynes, who's the running backs coach at Charlotte. And I think that's an easy case. Like, hey, Trig Lewis is the guy that they're gonna put back there. That's the guy there that got the reps, got the snaps.
And
that's probably the case that he's making.
And fingers crossed. In considering where, not fingers crossed for App State fans, but the writing's probably on the wall as well for, like, you know, Kanye Roberts is coming back, and is he healthy? And so will he be? You know, he was considered the top running back. Then chances are, with the emergence of Trig, that there wasn't going to be a lot to go around. So you go from there.
Jaden Barnes, there's no way that we would have wanted him to go. He's out of here. Griffin Scruggs, I don't know. It's toss. I mean, obviously, I'm not in these meetings. I have no idea. I don't think we're probably begging for him to stay. DJ Burks is gone. I mean, he grabbed a couple interceptions this year. I don't know. I don't know if that's something he just wants to move on. I have no idea. Davion Dozier is interesting. So, dude's built exactly how you want a wide receiver to be built. Showed some great flashes. Had some pretty big drops, but I mean, I think everybody had some drops last year. Did you see what his dad wrote on Twitter?
I don't know if I did.
So 2026 is still going to be the year of irresponsibility. So I'm just going to say, I mean, it was out there. He posted it. Like, I'm not breaking news here. So basically, Davion's dad, I think it's his dad, that's how it was kind of positioned, posted that Loggins overpromised stats to him, saying that he was going to have over 1,000 yards, and you can't promise 1,000 yards to you can't promise 1,000 yards to multiple receivers and 1,000 yards to multiple running backs, and like something's got to give at some point. Now that's from the standpoint of a parent hearing all that. Parents hear what they're going to hear sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I mean, I'm sorry, parents can be. I'm not saying this guy is, but parents can be the most delusional people on earth. So that sounds like a combination of he didn't get the touches he wanted. They think that he could market himself out somewhere else. But I think Davion was a really good talent.
Well, and part of that is that he was, but you got to realize, if we're going to overanalyze a tweet from a parent, that you've also got to be healthy.
Yeah.
For to get up to 1,000 yards, you're not going to get 1,000 yards, not playing like the full schedule, right?
Yeah.
So how many games did he play?
He came. When did he come back?
He played 9 games.
I think he came back at Oregon State. I think he made a really big catch at Oregon State. I think that's right. I might be wrong.
And still was. He played 9 games and still was a third leading receiver, but with only 20 catches. Right, like that's.
He only had 20 catches.
20 catches.
Oh, okay.
But he had 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, so he's a big play threat. That's how he's built.
But we had
how many yards was that on 20 catches? Like a big
448. It was 2240 a catch, but he had some long ones.
Yeah, he did.
But you got to realize, I mean, he wasn't healthy the whole season. We had a period of time where Isaiah Cummings was getting a lot of catches, was like catching the ball a lot because Davion was hurt early, right? Yeah. And then, Isaiah only played 8 games. And then Jaden was the guy getting all the catches. He only played 10 games. And he got hurt at the end of the year. But, you can't assume health either. Like that, I think that's, I'm sure, in taking up for Dow here, you can say, like, are you the type of player who can get 1,000 yards in this offense? Yes. But it's also got to work. You can be beat by somebody just because, like, what is my goal? That could be how that was misconstrued. Like, what could you do, right? The receivers who played in every game include Dalton Stroman, and that's it.
Really? Wow. Okay.
The receivers.
Yeah.
A wide receiver.
That's impressive, though.
Trigg played 13. David Larkins played 13. Keenan Hamlin played 13. There you go.
He's gone. Yeah, Keenan Hamlin's gone. That's another guy I think we would have liked to have taken. He's going to ECU with somebody that he knows.
Yes, who may be over there. Yeah. It's not hard to connect these dots.
No, not at all.
It may be hard to connect some dots when you're not completely in it, and that's why I like, that's the good of having this specialized podcast who like cover things incessantly. You're like, would you ever talk to like the Rutgers Scarlet Red podcast or something like that? And you're like, man, but those guys know Rutgers football or Rutgers, whatever they want to follow.
Yeah, that's fine. So, but just what you just said though, about are you the kind of receiver that can do this? Yes,
I think so too.
I'm gonna be on the side of, because I've been around a lot of sports parents, a lot of athletes' parents, and I know a lot of coaches. I know coaches can oversell, but I'm telling you, when it comes to their kids and people projecting on their kids, protecting their kids, and wanting the best for their kids, parents so often hear what they want to hear. They just hear what they want to hear about their kid, and I heard that my kid's gonna have 1,000 yards this year. That's what you said,
Mhm.
coach. So I take that with a giant grain of salt. But it was interesting to see like Billy Wiles' dad's out there posting stuff, and it's just it's been an interesting year of public tweets and commentary. This happened today. Donnell Nix Jr., who's a true freshman tackle who played
Mhm.
this year, he's going off to Oklahoma State. And even though the offensive line didn't play well, that's a true freshman who played tackle, really good size. You got to figure that if you're playing at 19 years old, probably going to get better and stronger. That's not a great loss. Bucci Farmer here. See, here's what's interesting to me, Charles. Whenever you see a play, sometimes I feel like you can sense when a player maybe has soft feelers out and they announce when they're going to the portal because they've been offered and it kind of happens quickly. But when I see a player that goes into the portal and says, "Hey, someone look at my tape," it's like you
Eh,
didn't do any research like before you got in the portal.
It is
Like you're
interesting though.
asking on Twitter.
Does this is going to sound terrible or may come out wrong? It seems like those who are like who put out like practice tape
Yeah,
are the ones who are like, that's why I call it the fishermen. Like they're putting a pole in the water and hoping someone bites.
yeah,
Whereas if you have game film, like people know you, they've seen you, you can pull all these ESPN3 cut ups and all that good stuff, or ESPN Plus now. ESPN3 from like 8 years ago.
yeah.
Still stuck. You don't have to do that. You don't have to sell. You don't have to put up a billboard for yourself on socials. Like they're like, hey, yeah, that's a guy who can play. And does he have the size? And did he get better? Or what did he look like in high school? And you see these, FCS guys, who are getting pub on socials of like, hey, here's a guy with, a bunch of tackles for loss and several sacks, and they're like, he's heading to blankety blank, and you're like, wow, that's you never hear about those guys. But then again, if you have someone who's a fanatic of said school, and like they're like, yeah, it makes sense, we're going to lose this kid.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. But yeah, I'm with you there. Kind of like, maybe you're looking for playing time, but you just hope that these guys are like not having to drop down too far. But if you don't have anything out there, it's really tough to just like throw yourself out there.
Yeah.
But then again, all right, like these people may have not had an option, right? They're told,
Yeah.
hey, we're going to try to find somebody to replace you. That's why you didn't play here. We think we can, find something else or get better or improve depth or change the philosophy. And we're going to, instead of having 8 running backs, we're going to have 12 running backs. Terrible example, but just an idea.
Yeah. I tell you though, but this is why I think it stood out, because that's right. Like there's some kids that are told like you need to hit the bricks and they're out there like fishing. That's totally cool. I think Farmer's pretty good. I can't imagine him being told to like maybe I don't know. They kicked 2 defensive linemen off the team this year. I mean, I don't know, but it's just interesting. And you're right. I'm assuming that he voluntarily went on in and they wanted him to stay. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they didn't, but I don't know. He's a pretty good player. It is Dylan Manuel, who had a really good season for us. He's going to Colorado, where he'll be like under Warren Sapp, which is kind of crazy.
I thought that was that surprised me.
Yeah,
when that happened.
Yeah,
and
me
then
too.
And then even more so when Santana Hopper went into the portal and then also went to Colorado. I was like, wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah, that is super interesting.
Imagine if we had all the money in the world and we could have had those 2 guys here.
Yeah, that'd be. Santana Hopper's a dude, man. I mean, I know he's a helmet swinging son of a gun, but he's a good player. Interesting to see how he does. I don't really keep up. I mean, I don't really keep up with these guys. I mean, it's easier to keep up with the obvious guys that you see playing like 3:30 on CBS or whatever, like Joey. Like, see Joey, like what's he doing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like I didn't really keep up with Santana. They said he was a standout, like in all the write-ups. So he was really good. So he's a good player. There are so far in the portal, there are 5 players that are, I guess, now on board. Caleb Purdy from who's at it looks like Tennessee Tech.
Mm-hmm.
He's a safety, 5'11", 185. Samaj Fleming from Boston College, wide receiver, 5'8", 171. I guess that's kind of like the Jaden Barnes replacement there.
He's a speedster.
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce this. Is it Jachius? I don't know.
But Jakias, maybe?
Jakias. I don't know. Brown, defensive lineman, 6'2", 290. Looks like he's come. Where's that? Where's he from? Illinois State? Does that look like where that's from? Southeast Missouri State. Whoopsie. Sorry. And Cameron Burris. I think he's the one from Anderson. Offensive tackle. And then the big one that everyone's talking about is Malachi Singleton. This is kind of interesting. So, AJ Swan, JJ Cole, they're out of here. Matthew Wilson. Maybe he's a fisher of men. Maybe he's not. I don't know where he's going to end up landing. But Malachi Singleton, 6'1", 235. He's actually from, I think, Kennesaw, Georgia. He's from the Atlanta area.
Yeah, I think that's
backup
right.
Quarterback at Purdue. And dual threat, plain and simple. Like this, he could not be more different than what we had last year.
And we went after him last year.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
And
he made a visit last year, I think.
With Dozier, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, okay, yeah,
maybe I'm getting that right.
I don't know. He went to high school with. I saw Adam Winton posted. He went to school with Mbake.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I'm just assuming.
Yeah,
I missed that.
You know what they had to say about assuming, Charles?
Well, it just was like I remember that graphic I saw from last year, and I thought that,
yeah,
this person was in that graphic, or because I remember like 2 of them were together. So
yeah, no, I know what you mean. I seem to remember that as well because the Binion, maybe he was the Binion and Dozier came at the same time.
Maybe that's what it was.
I think that's what it was. So I'm looking at all the entries here and all the visits. And Singleton,
I think we still got one quarterback we were looking forward to. So like, I think that is very interesting though that we went after him last year, couldn't get him, and that he couldn't, and he's coming here. So, but that is like, it's good. It's a good pool. It's like a Georgia kid, like that area seems safe, right? Like someone might stick around.
But
he's built different than your typical dual threat. He's more of a he's a big guy, and he's not super tall.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, it just seems like, well, I guess that's not true because Joey wasn't a runner. Chase Bryce sure wasn't a runner. But I guess in this era where you can't really, I don't know, it would just be really hard to build like a really good O-line, to provide like a pure pocket protection, to have like a dual threat, to have a little more flexibility with what you can do.
I think we underutilized Joey a little bit in the run game, mainly because Joey just loved throwing it.
Yeah. That was his strength.
So it wasn't, it was his strength. I don't want per se say he wasn't a runner. We just didn't run him.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
We could have.
That's interesting.
But he liked to fling it. That's just my take. That's my take on it. He liked to fling.
He liked to fling. Did you see where that he had like a benign tumor in his arm that he played with half the season?
Crazy. That he did that. What a warrior, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, that's tough as balls out there to get out there and just like put it off until the end of the season. I mean, that's pretty cool.
It just adds to his lore, really.
The gunslinger. Yeah, I'll take care of this after the season, guys. Don't worry about it. Get on my back. I got you. I think he's got one more year, doesn't he?
Maybe.
I think he does.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, so that's I don't know what else is going to happen in the portal. I think we got 30. I think 30 was it the last count. I just had it open to
34.
30. We have 36 outgoing. We have 25 high schoolers incoming. and 5 transfers incoming. So we have a little bit of a discrepancy as far as who else we can add, I guess. And I'm telling you, man, so the portal, I guess, closes in a week, right? Or like, when does it close? Like the 15th or something?
16th, I believe.
16th. Okay. So it closes the 16th. So, I mean, there is not a lot of time to get all this done, first day of class and all that good stuff. But I think we'll end up snagging some guys. I think some guys that are in the portal now probably will stay, maybe. I don't think it's going to be a huge amount, but I don't know. It's going to be an interesting next 10 days, I think.
The next week happens. For sure. By the next time we're on here, a lot will have settled.
Yeah. Do you think that there will be another? Because last year, I mean, if you remember, AJ Swan was announced, oh yeah, AJ Swan, and everybody gets excited. I mean, that's a cool sounding name too. And then it's JJ Cole. So you get 2 of these power transfers in, and basically it's like the gauntlets on the table is one of these guys are going to duke it out, one's going to transfer. Do you think we're going to get another quarterback, or do you think?
Yeah,
this is it. Yeah,
I think we'll get another quarterback.
I think you have to take another quarterback. You have to get another quarterback because who's in our quarterback room right now? Literally, is it just Malachi?
Yeah, and Noah Gillen.
Oh yeah, Noah Gillen. Yep. But still, that's not a lot, as we saw. We were playing with 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, and Matthew Wilson for the time being, who's hasn't left.
Do you think Matthew Wilson is an Appalachian State Mountaineer in September?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'd love for him to be. I just don't. Yeah, I'm not confident, but I'd love for him to be just from a teammate perspective.
Do you think he'll? What are the odds? You think it's a better chance he's quarterback at Western,
or something? Yeah, or some other lower FCS. Yeah.
Yeah. I want that guy to do well. I really do. I want him to 100%. I want him to go crush it. That's a Mountaineer.
Yeah.
Through and through. So, all right. We've talked more than an hour.
We found an hour.
We've completely BS'd all this football stuff. It is interesting though.
But who's going to get it right?
I don't know. How many true freshmen do you think will play next year?
I don't know. 4, 5, or 6, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are.
Who's the kid? Burchell? Burchell played. Yeah. He was a true freshman.
Right.
Nix played. He was a true freshman. That's kind of a necessity though. We have so many injuries, but he started 6 games. Trig Lewis, Kamani Alexander, a true freshman.
Mm-hmm.
Still trying to think here.
Maybe a tight end.
Did we have a true freshman tight end?
Maybe we will next year.
Yeah, that kid from South Carolina. Yeah. I tell you what, there's no way they didn't pay that kid. This highly touted guy. There's no way they didn't pay him. I had an interesting.
Columbia wasn't too happy about that.
No, I don't think they were. I had an interesting conversation. I'm not gonna bail anybody out because I know there's a defensive back that's gonna announce here that's committed. Anyway, I won't get into it. But I had an interesting conversation just about the portal and these kids, what they have to go through, and just the state of college football, and had a little insight about how a lot of what you see today in college football, and Charles, you've talked about it, is more so than ever before, obviously, because this is also new. Guys are on the field, even if they're not the best for that position, they're playing because there's money behind them. And you got to get something out of them, because you've spent X number of dollars on that nickel, or that end, or whatever. And just because another guy's beating him out in practice every day doesn't matter. This guy's got to work out because we're paying him. And that's never happened in college football until this. And it's very interesting. to hear insights like that from players, because you get a lot of guys that think they know what they're doing. These rich guys, these donors, think they know what they're doing. They fall in love with a player, commit a bunch of money to him, and all of a sudden that becomes the guy that we need to see out there. You know.
Well, I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, it's somebody's got to convince these guys to write checks, right? Like, hey, we really need this guy.
Yeah,
he's worth a win.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
But what about my parking space? Where's my parking space?
Yeah. Yeah.
Know?
Oh yeah.
It's part of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's part of it for sure. Oh man. And if there's anybody listening to this that is connected to a player, as a player or a parent, make sure your kids' agents, if they have agents, aren't making like
more than they should.
7%. Let's just say, throw a number out there, 7% on your deals. Like, there's some highway robbery going out there right now, and it's very unfortunate for these poor kids that are trying to navigate these waters. Just crazy stuff that you hear. But yeah, more madness to continue, more madness to talk about in the coming days with rosters and transfers and all this other stuff. But Charles, we got anything else?
I think we're good for a week. Next week will be interesting. I
think it will.
We'll have a better we'll better have a better idea of what our roster probably looks like. Football roster.
Yeah, I agree. You think by the time we record next week, whether it's Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever, you think we'll have another quarterback committed?
Yes. But I do also think that like there'll probably be like one or two that like commit after we're done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like
okay.
Like on Thursday or Friday, the last minute.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's Saturday. Somebody's working in admissions overtime. We're getting you enrolled. These are your classes on Tuesday.
You're a professional studies major.
Yeah. Human. Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of degrees out there that are very generic.
Who's that kid from Texas that we got that signed like at this time in like 23 or 24? And it was like, oh, we got a Texas transfer, and he didn't even make it like to April.
Yeah.
Like, see ya. Like, see you, dude. His name was Charlie something.
Maybe these visits with this warm weather in like early January, or like maybe we'll get to convince a couple kids to like, yeah, this is not that bad. And then as soon as they walk to class on Tuesday morning, it's, what is this?
They're gonna slip on the ice outside.
Why is it 19 degrees?
I could feel my eyeballs freezing. That's funny. All right, let's wrap her up. Thanks to everybody that's gotten to this point. Listen to the Black and Gold podcast. Thanks to Boonshine for sponsoring the show. And until next week, go Apps.